Hello and welcome to today's daily challenging question. Leetcode 238. Product of array except self. Given an integer array norms, return an array's answer such that the answer I is equal to the product of all the elements of norms except the norms I. The product of any prefix or suffix of norms is guaranteed to fit a 32-bit integer. You must write an algorithm that runs in own time and without using the division operations. So the example 1, 2, 3, 4. So the product of first position without itself is the product of 2, 3, 4. So it's 25, 24. And similarly, for the second position, it's the product of 3, 4, and 1. So it's 12. Such as such. So and the norms length is between 2 and 10 to the power 5. Norms I is larger than or equal to minus 30, smaller than or equal to 30. So the follow-up, can you solve the problem in O1 extra space complexity? So the output array does not count as the extra space for space complexity analysis. So let's start working on this. So to achieve ON solution, we can use a prefix product array, and also so for step 1 is generate a prefix product array and a post product array. Then step 2 is calculate iterate through all indexes and calculate product without except the self. So the so because this although this we need to do 3 passes. First pass generate prefix product array. Second pass post product array. And the third pass is iterate and calculate the product except self. But all the 3 passes is ON, so the time complexity will be ON. So let's work on this solution firstly. So firstly, we can pre-product. We define a array pre-product. So we only need to calculate actually until n minus 1, because we don't need to multiply the last element. So so product I, if I is not 0, then we can I minus 1 times norms I. Similarly, we can calculate the post product. Similar, we also only need to have n minus 1 dimension. So for the post product, and so if I is n minus 1, then post product I is a non-psi. Otherwise, post product is I plus 1 times non-psi. And now we have both calculated. We can define an answer array. So so if I is 0, then answer array will be post oh, actually here it's not correct. It should be I less than or equal to 0. So if it's I is the first one, then post product is I plus 1. Otherwise, so the post product, yeah. So the post answer I is post product I, and I'm so then we can continue. If I is I n minus 1, then answer I is will be pre-product I minus 1. So that actually it's a product of all the other elements. So the third possibility is it's in an element in the middle. So it will be pre-product I minus 1 times post product I. Yeah, so in the end, we just return the answer. Yeah, so it seems it's correct. Yeah, so let's pass the OJ. So I can talk a little about how to simplification. To use O1 extra space. So we don't need to define pre or post array, product array. We can just use the answer array to store those information. So let's work on this O1 extra space solution. So firstly, we can define this answer array as a int n. Then the answer array I is 1 because actually 0 is 1. We firstly need to calculate the prefix product. So we just store the prefix into this answer array. So we like answer I is equal to answer I minus 1 times nums I minus 1. So after this is done, then we will for this array. For this array, we will have first element is 1, and the second element is still 1. Then 2, then 6. Excuse me. So this is the first. After the first loop is done, the answer array will contain the prefix product, and then the next step is we can define a right is 1. Then we go from I from n minus 1 until 0. So what we can do is we can multiply all the elements to the right side. So the right variable here will be used to store the product. So right will be nums I. Yeah, then answer I will equal to answer I minus 1 times actually answer I times right. So the firstly the right will be 1. Then we will have answer n minus 1 as 6. Then the right will be 1 times 6. And we will have answers. The next then we go to the next iteration. So the answers will be I will be n minus 1. Then it will be 2 times 6 because the right is 6, so it's 12. No, actually it's not correct. It should be. Oh, actually it's not 6. It's 4. The right will be 4, so it will be 2 times 4 will be 8. Such and such. So that the right variable will contain the post product. So we don't need an array for that. We can just use a variable. And let's check if this is correct. Oh, it's out of index 4 out of bound for length 4. I is n minus 1. Oh, yeah, it should be I minus minus. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the follow-up solution for the follow-up. So to conclude, so today we have used the two approaches. Actually, they are just one approach, but with simplification on the space complexity to calculate the product of array except self. So if you have any question, please comment on the video.